The fact that reportedly it's going to be Robert Saleh going to the Titans after spending some time as the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. And this is because Mike McCarthy, the Super Bowl winning coach, withdrew his name from the Titans conversation earlier this week. And now he has turned his attention to interviewing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, this according to Tom Pelissero. So, guys, this graphic has changed a lot. We've added teams. We've taken teams away. We added a surprising team yesterday with the Buffalo Bills. But we have 6 spots remaining here across Buffalo, Cleveland, Arizona, Vegas, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. We just heard Mike McCarthy's name now interviewing with the Steelers. Manti, I'll start with you in terms of names, availability, teams, parking spots open. What draws your eye?
Well, Mike McCarthy to the Steelers, that one's interesting because obviously what does that mean with Aaron Rodgers and his relationship? It would be the golden ticket for any head coach to get that situation. So that's what I think, Zay.
I think probably the most high-profiling hire that's going to take place is going to be Baltimore. I think that they have the most pieces in place to be successful, and obviously the coach has been there for so long. But I think that Pittsburgh is kind of curious to me as well. Obviously, with Coach Tomlin stepping down, I have a feeling as if Brian Flores might be the one that ends up taking that job. That might be a kind of a tip of the cap. Mike Tomlin brought Brian Flores back into the NFL in terms of coaching, and I think that he's going to have a great opportunity to go out there and take over that franchise.
Kyle?
Honestly, I look at Robert Saleh with the Titans, and I know that one's blacked out right now, but I just think this is a very interesting fit. Quick little stop in San Francisco for him, absolutely dominated with that defense, Seahawks game aside. Incredible season without all the injuries. And I just think personally, having been here pretty much front row for Robert Saleh's time in New York, I'm not sure he was the best fit for the market and the media. I look back on that, and I don't know if that was the right fit. Whereas you go to Tennessee, wildly different dynamic with the atmosphere, the market, the media down there. And I think it might be better for him. And it's not going to be constant New York media lightning bolts all the time. He can just go down there, coach defense. He has a quarterback. He doesn't have to take his GM and fly to Malibu and kiss the butt of some old guy to beg him to come to the Jets. He has a quarterback. He's very talented. There's no problem there. He needs a really good offensive coordinator and TBD. But I like the fit for Saleh, and I'm happy for Saleh.
I'm specifically intrigued by what's going on in Las Vegas. Clearly, the Pete Carroll conversation did not work last year. What are they doing at quarterback moving forward? They have a lot of young talent. The Max Crosby thing is interesting this offseason. And I don't know if it's because we're fresh off of watching this national championship from last night and that talented, electric interview of a quarterback coming out of Indiana, and the fact that everybody is playing some conjecture game with. He knew Tom Brady was in the building last night, and he dropped his own phrase that Tom Brady likes to say after a game in his interview. They have the #1 overall pick. They need a quarterback. They need a coach. There's a lot of new people going to be in the building for a very classic logo that we know and love in the NFL. The AFC West coaching was fantastic last year in terms of the characters, who they get in their vacancy fascinates us. And don't worry, Arizona Cardinals. We know you're still there. We're talking about you too, okay? GMFB coaching vacancies, but we got conference championship ahead this weekend. We'll be right back. Old Trapper Beef Jerky, Tuesday, January 20th. Jamie Erdahl, Manti Te'o, Isaiah Stanback here in L.A. Kyle Brandt's got us covered in New York. Kyle, looking ahead this hour, you have some, I guess you would call them friends by now. Maybe they're getting closer to family, calling in on the show. What is your question for those who want to engage in GMFB radio today?
It's just a wide open, how you feeling about your team? What do you want for your team right now? Just take it wherever you want. That could be rage, that could be screams, that could be laughs, that could be a Super Bowl ring. It could be anything. But call the lines and we'll know what you want when you say it on the air. But first, we got to talk about all kinds of things about who is the most interesting, pivotal player coming up in this title game weekend. I have my thoughts, the table has theirs. Get in here. It's Good Morning Football.
Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Old Trapper. That's right. Get in here Tuesday on GMFB in between divisional round and conference championship weekend. Jamie, Manti, Isaiah, and Kyle. We do a lot of talking about the games here on this show. Now, we have to look back to something, a concept that our friend in New York brought up just last week, which was a very important word that we will now use and apply it looking ahead to conference championship weekend. And that one is pivotal. Take a look back.
I think C.J. Stroud is the most pivotal player in the entire NFL. What does that mean? like, C.J. Stroud dictates a lot of what's going to happen in these playoffs. If he plays well, I think they're going to the Super Bowl because of that defense. If C.J. Stroud plays well, I think the Texans are going to the Super Bowl. If he doesn't, if he's average or if he's shaky like he was last night, like, he determines so much. They're not going.
Pivotal is the name of the game. It's not the most talented. It's not the most important. It's not this or that. It's pivotal. It can go well or it can go terribly wrong. We saw how it went last week. Guys, most pivotal quarterback that you are keeping an eye on ahead of this weekend, Manti?
Well, I got to go with Drake May. I think that coming off of the game that he had against the Houston Texans, he was getting hit a lot. He turned the ball over a few times. He had 2 fumbles and interception. Yeah, the thing that impressed me the most about Drake May is he still threw the ball. A lot of times there are quarterbacks that are getting they're getting hit, and they're getting hit often, and they're turning the ball over. They start to get a little who has a really good pass rush and his ability to stay in that pocket and to fire that ball down the field. So I got Drake May.
I am going to go out to Seattle, my hometown, and talk about Mr. Sam Darnold. He gives me the bubbly guts. And the reason why he gives me the bubbly guts is because against the Rams in particular, he has struggled. So, yeah, he is pivotal because he is the QB, and the QB cannot turn the ball over in conference championships. Why do I bring that up? Well, let's talk about the first time that he faced the Rams this year in the divisional rivalry. He had 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. That's maybe just a bad day, right, Jamie? Just maybe.
No, wasn't, Isaiah, because it happened to him before with that same team.
But they played 2. You know a little bit about Sam Darnold, but they played 2 times against their divisional conference guys, right? So the second time he played the Rams, he had 2 interceptions, but this time he had 2 touchdowns, right? So they beat the Rams the second time around. It wasn't so bad. But last time I checked, that is 2 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. The Rams have Sam Darnold's number. I hope that they don't have his number this particular week. We will see. But he has to figure out why is it that he always has struggles against the Rams. That's why he's my pivotal QB to watch.
I think it's a great answer, and I think for me, in any other week, any other year, really any other century, my answer would be Sam Darnold. But we have to take a look at Jarrett Stidham. Let's look at this dude right now. Just look him in the eyes. This guy is starting, again, the AFC title game. Not some Week 18 game, not some wild card game, the championship game. Let's do the deep dive. Here we go. Jarrett Stidham, way back in the day, was the #1 dual-threat quarterback in his class, ahead of Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jawan Jennings. Goes to Baylor, took a year off, does online school at a community college, and ends up at Auburn. His final game at Auburn was against Purdue, a 63-14 win. Purdue starting quarterback that day, David Blau, who is now the Commanders' offensive coordinator. Guess who succeeded Jarrett Stidham at Auburn? A quarterback named Bo Nix, whose ankle just broke, opening the door for him. We asked a lot of this when the injury happened, and we found out that, again, Jarrett Stidham would be starting the AFC Championship game. When's his last action? Well, I'll do better. His last ever throw in a regular season or postseason game, 2023, Week 18, in a loss to the Raiders in Las Vegas. This is the last throw. It's not a good one. It is intercepted. He's in the pocket, and he gets his arm hit. This is the last time. Look at him down on the turf. He's getting up right now, and again is starting what? The AFC Championship game. Now, Sean Payton loves Jarrett Stidham. He loves him so much so that in day 1 of Sean Payton's first season in Denver, free agency, day 1, they go and get Jarrett Stidham on a 2-year deal. Then they extend Jarrett Stidham 2-year, $12 million contract prior to this season contract, making him one of the most expensive backups in the entire league. He loves Jarrett Stidham, and that comfort he showed after the injury in the press. By the way, look at the flow on Stidham. Incredible. Peyton is very comfortable. It's almost like Peyton knew this was coming, if you look at based on what he's done and the contract stuff and the confidence he's had. But let's give some historical context to how rare this is and how improbable this is. Latest first start of the season in NFL history in the modern era. Stidham, 2025 title game. Roger Staubach in the 70s NFC Championship game, and then George Blanda in the 50s, also the NFL Championship game. Now remember, Staubach had won a Super Bowl the prior year as the starter. So they're so different. It's not like this. Like, Stidham is just this guy who's been around. He's only started 4 games ever. And look at the next one. You might say there's only 8 quarterbacks have had their first start of the season in a playoff game ever. Only 8 times your first start of the season in a playoff game. You know the only